It all starts with a word that sounds like a joke, but describes a tragedy. Enshittification. It is the life cycle of the modern digital platform. We've watched it happen in slow motion. We saw it when McKinsey and Google conspired to make search results worse, clogging our screens with sponsored content just to squeeze out a little more ad revenue. We saw it when Facebook abandoned its no spying mantra to sell end-user data and slip secret ad space into our feeds. It's a pattern. Amazon undercut the market to destroy competition and then raised fees once they owned the game board. Dating apps are designed to keep you single, so you keep swiping. Reddit crushed third-party apps just to boost their IPO value. And Uber? Well, they used venture capital to subsidize our rides, only to jack up the prices once we had deleted the taxi numbers from our phones and forgot how to even use those little yellow cars. But this story isn't about Silicon Valley. It's about what happened when this philosophy left the screen and entered the physical world, and how that philosophy wormed its way into Walt Disney's original Magic Kingdom. It started in the grocery aisle. Shrinkflation. Suddenly, that 16-ounce pack of bacon you used to buy only contained 12 ounces and for the same price. Family-sized cereal boxes lost 20% of their weight even though the cardboard box looked exactly the same. And then, the philosophy came for the mouse. The villains of this story are a group that we will call the Spreadsheet People. The Spreadsheet People have one thing to feed: the spreadsheet. The shareholders value the spreadsheet, and the spreadsheet must be fed. The Spreadsheet People do not care about magic. They do not care about smiles. The Spreadsheet People care about predictability. The Spreadsheet People care about maximizing every minute of profit they can. To understand the Spreadsheet People, you must understand what they hate. They don't hate guests, they're indifferent to them. What they hate is unpredictability and missed revenue opportunity. Before 2020, Disneyland had a natural rhythm, a wave. Crowd calendars predicted the highs and lows based on the weather, the school year, and holidays. But this natural rhythm is a nightmare for a spreadsheet person. If attendance is low, they've wasted money on staffing. If it's unexpectedly high, guest sentiment drops. In both scenarios, you have an unhappy spreadsheet person. The spreadsheet person wants the water to be flat and moving in the direction that makes value go up. They needed a mechanism of control. And in 2020, the COVID-19 pandemic handed them the ultimate weapon: the reservation system. Originally, this was a safety measure, a necessity for reopening with capacity limits. But the Spreadsheet People, they saw a Trojan horse. They realized that by controlling entry, they didn't just have to cap attendance for safety, they could manipulate it for a theoretical maximum of profit. The concept of a starting park and introduction of forced park hopping hours. It let them increase the total number of guests allowed by maximizing the capacity of each park, and the time limit for park hopping introduced to prevent crossover in an uncontrolled way. This also meant that the old system of Magic Hour wouldn't work. You couldn't guarantee a hotel guest to get a reservation at the park that had Magic Hour. And so they cut Magic Hour into a Magic Half Hour, valid at either park every day, and named it early entry. And that was actually a signal of the beginning. With this reservation system, they staged a silent coup. They established a class warfare system bucketing guests into a hierarchy based on how much value could be extracted from them. They split the reservation system into pools, a maximum number of reservations associated with specific types of guests, in order to ensure they could always maintain a steady mix of the exact type of guest they wanted. They needed to feed the spreadsheet consistency and predictability. At the top of the pyramid are the VIPs and the Club 33 members, the untouchables. They need no reservations at all. There are a few other limited but also relatively untouchable reservation pools like comp tickets and others. But just below them are the hotel guests. These are the whales, affluent families willing to pay 2 to 4 times the price of a standard hotel to stay on the property. For a long time, their reward was the extra magic hour, 60 full minutes of early access to the parks. But the spreadsheet people realized they could actually cut costs even further by going back to the old familiar schedule of only opening one park early per day, but retaining that 30-minute cap, reducing the operational cost of that perk by 50%. And now, even that's vanishing. The spreadsheet people are replacing early entry with a tactic straight from the street corner drug dealer: the free sample. Hotel guests will soon receive a single, solitary Lightning Lane pass per stay. The goal is obvious. You give the guest a taste of skipping the line. You get them hooked on the speed like meth. Once they use that free hit, they are far more likely to open their wallets and buy more. After all, they're paying for an overpriced hotel with fewer perks. They're whales, and they're more likely to crack open the vacation budget and let a couple $100 more just spill right out. Speaking of which, let's take a little side quest on Lightning Lane here. About 2 years ago, Disney revamped their disability access service. The claim, supported by astroturfing and social media sentiment, was that too many people were abusing this system to get free access to Lightning Lane style ride booking, causing standby wait times to inflate. So Disney responded by making the disability access service much more difficult to qualify for. But I can say that after watching average ride wait times for that 2-year period, there has been no change in the average wait times. So why the lie? Well, as it turns out, people using the service were adding a slight impact to the wait times for the paid Lightning Lane users, which added negative sentiment to the product. Not only that, but Disney seemed to feel that if people were abusing the service to get Lightning Lane for free, they might as well convert some of them into paying customers, even if it meant a quadriplegic in a wheelchair with breathing problems no longer qualified. Then, the spreadsheet people divided guests into revenue groups. The foot soldiers of the spreadsheet war unwittingly pitted against each other. First, you have the daywalkers, a standard day ticket holder who makes up the bulk of the crowd. As a side note, class distinctions exist even for single-day ticket versus multi-day tickets. The single-day tickets get reservation preference due to higher attributed spend. Nobody is safe from the Disney class war. And then the pass holes. Me, probably you, the magic key holders, mostly, but not always locals. The folks who used to enjoy spontaneous trips to spend a few hours shopping, dining, or taking a walk, to ride a favorite ride a few times a week. To the spreadsheet people, the pass hole is the lowest form of life, ranking just above a cast member in reservation priority. We are generally lower margin guests, even if they're demonstrably responsible for most of the high margin food and beverage sales, easily shown by the complete lack of dining reservations through most of the year, except for those 2 weeks of Christmas when all the pass holes are blocked out. But, harkening back to the filmmaking roots of the Walt Disney Corporation, the spreadsheet people found an even more devious use for the pass holes. The pass hole. is a stage prop. Here's the con. The spreadsheet people know that daywalkers who visit maybe once a year are desperate. They have spent thousands of dollars. They need the day to be perfect. So when the park might be slow, Disney opens up the reservation slots for pass holes to fill the gaps. Why? Well, because pass holes fill up the standby lines. We're used to waiting. We don't usually buy Lightning Lane passes because we come all the time and that would get expensive, and if we miss out on a ride, well, we can always ride it next time. And this is the trap. When a daywalker sees a long line or they see high wait times in the app, they panic. To save their vacation, they open up their wallets and buy Lightning Lane. The blogs tell them to do it. Social media tells them to do it. Us pass holes are essentially used as stage dressing just to frighten the affluent guests into spending more money. You and I, as pass holes, we are weaponized against the daywalkers. We've become part of the product in the same way that Facebook and TikTok sells our data. You now make up for your margin by providing value back to Disney in the form of Lightning Lane sales. The spreadsheet people not only found a way to take a free perk and turn it into a profit center, but found a way to take the lower margin pass hole and turn them into a stage prop to market that profit center. You are now part of the nefarious system to help Disneyland sell Lightning Lane to daywalkers. The system is rigged to ensure those pass holes show up. The spreadsheet people weaponized FOMO, fear of missing out. Locals book reservations just in case because of the perception, the fear that these reservations may not be available later. You might not even go that day and cancel last minute the night before, thus leaving a host of ghost reservations blocking others from reserving, which increases the fear, which starts the cycle again. And if you forgot to cancel, or tomorrow comes and you don't feel like going, well, because of the penalty policies for cancellations, you're forced to scan into the park even if you don't want to. And the likelihood that you'll give a few dollars to Disney goes up. And what if day ticket sales and reservations are just a little soft? Well, Disney can crack open the pass hole reservation pool and let the locals eat up available slots so they'll at least make something. But this all helps guarantee that the park is never really empty anymore. It guarantees a certain minimum level of busy. It guarantees the staffing models are accurate. It guarantees a certain margin of predictability. It guarantees the spreadsheet people are happy. So with the system in place, the spreadsheet people began the final phase of enshittification, the erosion of value. In-park entertainment is lively, but it is nowhere near the sheer volume of where it was in years past. Actors are union, and union members cost money. Instead, the focus has shifted towards fewer shows, shedding talent to the nearby Knott's theme park. The spreadsheet people prefer parades, where people line up hours ahead of time, so they can drive concession sales down Main Street. The spreadsheet people are why Galaxy's Edge was never full of aliens and droids, and why regular cast members were asked to roleplay as actors alongside selling Star Wars themed merch. The erosion continues into the night. The Elliott brothers back in the day used to sing about Disneyland being open until 1 a.m. on Friday and Saturday night in 1957, but those days are gone. Disneyland would have early hours between seasons, sure, but recent changes are kind of dramatic. Now, Disneyland is frequently closed at 11 p.m. or 9 p.m. for California Adventure during the week, even during busier seasons. And when you do the math, these shaved hours amount to losing 1.5 full operating days every single month compared to the past. So, what's left? The war is almost over. The spreadsheet people are winning. They have successfully begun to enshittify the product. The extra magic hour is dead. Operating hours are being quietly slashed with the parks closing earlier. Some even say the magic is no longer in the experience. And And to the spreadsheet people, the magic is in the efficiency. They have turned the chaotic joy of a theme park into a predictable, optimized, revenue-generating machine. And as long as the numbers on the screen stay green, the spreadsheet people will sleep soundly. Here's an analogy. Think of Disneyland now like a modern factory farm. In the old days, a farm was subject to the weather. Sometimes you had a bumper crop, sometimes a drought. It was wild, but the food, it tasted real. Disneyland fans often joke about the dome, a reference to an urban myth where guests thought Disney used a dome to control the weather. But ironically, the spreadsheet people have created a dome. They've built a greenhouse. They control the light, the water, the temperature. They know exactly how many tomatoes they will harvest to the exact ounce. It's perfectly efficient, and they will never lose money on a bad crop again. But the tomatoes, they have thicker skins. They're perfectly round, and they're starting to taste like absolutely nothing. I'd like to think that maybe there's still hope for the future. Maybe Disney will refocus on the guest experience, knowing that, much in the way Tokyo Disneyland knows, longer-term investment pays dividends over time, and that utter maximization of profits is not always the best way to operate. If you make money and have an iconic product everyone loves, sometimes, just sometimes, that should be enough.